Matt, 45 minutes for two different 11s under the belts against Alvechurch. Your thoughts to get us going on that one, please?
Yeah. As with all of these things, you want to get through it without injuries. You want to get a good 45 minutes of proper football under them. I thought the first half was great from the perspective of it was a proper game, which was great. Some really good experienced players for Alvechurch, some really good league careers them boys have had, so they brought their stuff, and it was a real good test, and I enjoyed watching us in that first half. And then the second half guys come on, and I think physically we broke them in the end, which we would expect, but the attitude has to be right for that to happen. So yeah, delighted from them perspectives. The lads' attitude was spot on. And we move on with it now. You know, it's all about fitness at this point, relationships, fitness, getting for everyone through to that first game at Morecambe in good health. That's the first tick in the box for that.
So you also brought in Charlie in there as well. I thought 25 minutes in there, did really well up front, didn't he?
Yeah, young Charlie did. Yeah, I wanted to. He trains with us regularly. Charlie does. He's a real coiled spring of energy, the lad. Probably got to bring that bit of refinement to his game when he then looks after it and holds it, but that's a young player for you. So great for Charlie for that. I thought Dylan came on and did great as well, another good young one. I thought George again. So 3 academy players in the team there, which is what we want. And Harry in the Harry Williams derby gets his goal. So loads of good positives. Really pleased with everyone. Most importantly, everyone's healthy. But we all had, as I say, I'm only going to repeat, really good attitude and fitness looked good.
I was going to say, it's all about adding those valuable minutes into it to get everybody going towards the 10th, but to come away with a win as well. I know the results don't necessarily mean anything, but it builds confidence as well, doesn't it? Yeah,
of course it does. You always want to win games, of course you do. You're right, ultimately it's all about gearing up for the good stuff, the proper stuff. But this is the first part of that journey onto that. I think the 2 weeks that the lads have put in prior to this, they've worked so hard to, in the off-season for one, but then in the first 2 weeks that we've had together, to take on board what we've asked them to do, which we saw some of that today, and then secondly the work that they've done physically. I think there were some tired lads out there today. We haven't had any time off it. We've just been relentless through the last 2 weeks, and we wanted them to be fatigued to go into the game. We wanted that, but there was also tired lads out there as well on a sticky pitch, on the heat when it came. So loads of things which you wouldn't necessarily normally go into the full blood and thunder feeling the way that the guys did, but that's what pre-season's all about, and that's what we wanted. And as again, repeat, good attitude, and pleased to be moving on then.
We just spoke to Harry there actually, and he talked about working hard through the off-season, having gone through that injury at the second half of last season. He's saying he comes back into it now feeling stronger physically and both mentally. He's been pleased with how he's come back in the off-season.
Harry's worked so hard. He's testament to himself and his family, the hard work that he's put in the off-season, because his first half of the season he was a real surprise package, if you like, for us. We didn't expect him to excel in the way that he did in the first half of last season, and then unfortunately for him the second half of the season's completely taken out of him, so who knows how that would have worked out in the second half. So for him now, the attitude that he showed to get himself in supreme fitness was great. From our point of view, from him as a lad and wanting to really forge his way in his career. I thought it was great today to come up against Tyrone Barnett. I love that. Tyrone's someone who I played with myself and gave him a real challenge. It's good to play against them guys because they've been there, seen it, done it once that you're going to come up against. They'll help with that experience for him. So yeah, loads of pleasing things. Good for Harry. Pleased he scored.
He's come back with confidence as well, though, hasn't he, within himself now, and he's sort of come out of his shell having had that time away.
Confidence in his body is the first point of call. I asked him when he got injured. I showed him I'm not going to tell you the players that I showed him pictures of, but showed him pictures of a few players and said to him, I want you to look like that when you come back. And he has worked so hard in doing whatever he can for his body to get himself in the right place. So I can only be pleased with everything that he's doing for him, for his career, and he's a wonderful kid as well. So yeah, this was the game that we played obviously as part of the signing of Harry, so it's quite apt that he scores the goal in it, which is these things start to happen sometimes. He wanted to be captain, he told me before the game, but wonderful kid, pleased for him.
Then we move into a completely different kind of game on Wednesday night against Aston Villa, but all about building that fitness, like you've said.
Exactly right. It's a great game. Every year it's a good game for the football club, so we get a real good crowd. Hopefully there's a bit of a springboard or a spring in everyone's step, having watched the England game tomorrow night. And everyone wants to come and watch the football game. So yeah, urge as many people to come down as we can. For us, it's a game against some really good opposition, as we all know. You know, world-class players, and that football club's going from strength to strength. And it's great that we get to pit ourselves against that. Again, for us, it's about pre-season. We've got to get minutes under the belt. We've got to get work into the guys, and that's what we'll be focusing on. But great occasion for the club.